Oh, hey, hi everybody. Hi, Lori.
Hey, Steve, how are ya?
Oh, not too bad. Boy, I'm not used to seeing you without any newfies or other dogs with you.
Oh, I've got them. They're all here.
Yes, I know
It's
that.
storming
Boy,
a little bit. So
what
we'll
a
wait.
show we have today. We're down there at G. Well, me and you aren't, but
Right.
we're going to be hosting from GPRS headquarters in Spring, Texas, and we always have a ball when we do that. All
Yes,
right.
we do. I'm
Um,
excited.
Oh yeah, and now as you can see, Melanie's not here because she's down there at headquarters in Spring, Texas. All right, so I'm filling in for Melanie today, and Lori's kind of filling in for me. We're kind of both going to do a little bit of this. So if we screw up on the production, that's on me, not Melanie. All right, she gets a free pass today. How's that? Wow. So I think what we're going to do, they've got the first dog ready. So I'm going to prep you for the first dog and we're going to play his video. This guy here, man, may not want this one to get away, and he's not a puppy for once. Matter of fact, we only have one puppy coming on today, one young one anyway. He's a year old. But anyway, Ranger's not. First one's Ranger coming up. And there's the superstar. That's Ranger. Am I supposed to have Melanie's camera up? I don't even know.
It doesn't matter.
Okay. Well, you can see better when you're up, right?
Can we zoom in? Yeah.
Live from GPRS headquarters. That's a heck of an office you got there.
I know, yeah.
So that's Mr. Ranger.
This is Ranger, yes. Come here, bud. He likes to lay down and just be by people, as you can see.
All right.
He sure does.
So yeah, a little bit about Ranger. He was born around February of 2019. So he's around 6, but some of his paperwork has him a little bit older. So we think he's actually between more like 6 to 8 years old. So getting into his senior years for sure. He has been at our headquarters since April of 2022, so almost 3 years, actually. Yes.
Aww.
Yes, he's been here quite a while. He was found as a stray in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. But he's like a 5-star dog for sure. He's like the best of the best. All the volunteers here love him. He's an all-around good boy for sure. So he loves his walks. As his video said, he's good with kids and he likes meeting new people. When I got here today, he was so excited. He actually tried jumping on me a little bit, so he's still got some good strength in those back hips.
I love it.
But yeah, he's good with older adults too. He's super gentle. He is also good with cats, but we do think that for his forever home, he would probably be best as an only dog, just because he tends to favor people a little bit more, and he really has no interest in other dogs, like playing or anything like that. I don't know if it's his age, but he can get a little bit annoyed by the other more rambunctious dogs. So we think an only dog home would be best for him. He is that stereotypical, like, calm, quote unquote, lazy peer, where he just kind of wants to lay there and hang out unless you're going for a walk. So he does love to go for those walks, for sure. But yeah, he's an all around good boy. Anybody who comes here to try to walk him, he will go right with them. There's some dogs barking going on right now, so he's a little interested in that. But as you can see, not, oh, there we go.
I love it.
We were waiting for it.
At least the barking dogs aren't drowning you out.
Yeah, exactly.
I like how the cat walked right up to him and it didn't even face him in the video.
Yes.
Yeah, in the video, I'm glad you explained that about the cats, because in the video it said that, home without other dogs or cats, but then we see the scene where he's with the cat on the walk.
Yeah, it didn't even face him.
Yes. So our volunteers here have done a lot of work with him to just kind of get him used to new new dogs and situations and stuff like that. And he's come a long way with, like, trusting people and trusting new animals and all that good stuff. So
Wow.
as you can see, he loves the peer paw. He loves attention.
And he's not a overly big guy, is he?
Hi. No, he's around 85 pounds, but he could actually stand to lose a little bit of weight.
Wow.
Just because he loves treats, and his kennel at headquarters is kind of right when you walk in. So anybody who comes, it's hard not to give him a treat. But yeah, so yes. Our director said he got used to the cats, but he just doesn't want to share food with them. So pretty typical with a guardian dog, where they don't really want to share their food all the time.
He is adorable.
Yes, he's super sweet. He just loves the attention, for sure. But
so
then
hard to believe he's been there for that long.
I know, yes.
Now, without anybody snatching him up.
Yes, yeah, he definitely deserves a good home where he can live out the best years of his life, for sure.
The seniors are the best. They've seen it all. They've done it all. Now they just want to relax.
Yes, and he definitely does. But he'll, he'd be happy in a home as like a homebody. But then, he'd be happy to go for a walk every now and again too. So,
and he looks healthy.
Yes, he definitely is. His fur is definitely nice and healthy still. It's got a cute little curl to it, like a little bit of a wave.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's got. He actually does not have the double dew claws on his back legs, which is interesting. We're not sure if that's
that's not unusual. You rescue. He's probably a mix. Okay.
Yes, for sure.
So, because I've never heard of GPRS advertising this as a purebred Great Pyrenees. They don't know for sure. They're rescued. All right. Wow, this is awesome. And I also, on his walks in the video, I didn't see any limping or anything, or any indicators of bad joints or anything like that, other than senior joints. But that's a good thing. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Because some people get a little nervous adopting seniors because of orthopedic stuff like that. It's giant breed dog, but not all dogs have orthopedic issues as giant breeds.
Right.
Yeah, Molly said that he still tried jumping up on her too. So therefore, that means that his hips aren't that bad if he can still kind of try to jump up anyway.
Get up there, yes, for sure. Yeah.
Hi, Mackenzie. Mackenzie said he reminds her of English cream. Mackenzie's joining us from Utah. She's with the Great Pyrenees Rescue Resources, Utah, Montana. One of the
Yep.
supporters of the show. Yes.
Yeah, he's definitely also treat motivated, as you can see. So doing
Well,
some
I'm treat
training.
motivated, just
Yeah,
not dog
right.
treats. Well, sometimes dog treats.
Yeah, doing some training should
All
come
right.
pretty easy. And he loves giving the pure paw.
Okay. Now, since he's at the headquarters for the Great Pyrenees Rescue Society, can he be fostered by chance?
Absolutely. Yes, for
Okay.
sure. For sure.
All right.
Our director does a great job too of matching dogs to foster homes. So she would probably want to match him with somebody who doesn't have another dog just to keep him happy. But yeah, he's definitely available to foster.
Awesome. I'll tell you that's one thing about your director. I've never seen anybody better at matching the dogs with the homes.
Yes.
She does a good job, and that's just amazing.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. Just because we want it to be a good fit for the family and the dog.
Yep. Because we don't want him to be returned, which is which is what Roman's going to discuss: reasons of returns and solutions. So maybe you don't have to return them. Okay.
Exactly.
So, and we covered dog altercation or dog aggression last week. Okay, and this week I forget. I got it written down somewhere. We'll figure it out, Roman. Matter of fact, maybe one of the GPRS screeners or somebody can say another common reason for returns. Okay, that's on the surrender forms or the return forms. Anyway, all right. So, what a boy! GreatPyreneesRescueSociety.org. That's where we are today. That's where Molly's live from there. Melanie's there. Doing a great job of doing my job. I love it. Thank you, Melanie.
All around good boy ranger.
Lori, do you have any questions?
So if he were to go to a good home, Molly,
yes,
what would be his absolute perfect home at his age so he can live out the rest of his good years with a family?
Yeah, I think a home with like a calmer environment would probably be the best for him. But then somebody who still likes to get out and exercise and go for some walks every now and again. A nice yard would be good for him to just kind of walk around and sniff around in. So yeah, he obviously loves to walk because it says that he likes to pretend he's not been out.
Yeah, I was reading that. He's playing everybody, isn't he?
Yes.
So a fenced-in yard, Molly? You're saying a fenced-in yard?
Yes, a fenced yard for sure, sure. Yeah, but he like I said, he just walks great. Like I said, just somebody who's willing to give him a bunch of love and companionship, and give him the belly rubs that he's asking for every now and again. But then we'll just let him just kind of take his lazy naps like he wants to during the day. So,
boy, he sure is good looking. That's one good looking boy.
He's a pretty easygoing dog for sure.
And awesome. All right. So there you have it. Ranger, GreatPyreneesRescueSociety.org. He can be fostered or adopted in case you're not quite ready to adopt yet.
Exactly.
Right?
I know.
So moving on, we got some more that's coming up, right? So we won't be seeing him in a second here. We're going to, we happen to have videos for each dog coming up. In the order they're coming up even. How about that?
Yes.
So this next one's a younger boy.
Absolutely. You'll see probably a little bit more energy than this little boy.
Oh, yeah. He's probably got a little more energy. He's a young'un, and he resides at the GPRS headquarters. So once again, he can probably be fostered or adopted. So we're going to play his video. Oh boy, that was quick. There he is.
Yeah. So this is Blitzen.
And he's a youngin. How youngin is he?
He's around a year old. So they put his birth date around February of 2024. So.
Okay, how is a dog that young in rescue?
Oh, it's a great question. He was picked up from Belton, Texas, which is between Waco and Austin, in early December, which is why he's named Blitzen. So, and he came in with another pup. The shelter.
So they were strays.
Yes, yep, they were strays.
Well, it looks like Montana Rescue loves him already.
Yes, yeah, he's adorable. He's got the
Or the Utah
really
Rescue.
gorgeous. Yeah,
I love the eyeliner. It looks like he's got eyeliner. He's adorable.
Yes, he's got the really gorgeous light brown eyes and that really intense eyeliner. And he's very interested in these toys.
Doesn't look like it to me.
Wants to get up on the couch.
It looks like he's more interested in Christine and getting loving from Christine.
Yes, he loves new people. He gets very excited to meet new people, for sure.
How is he doing in the facility being so young? Just out of curiosity.
Pretty good. He's calmed down a little bit. And he's put on some weight since he's been here. He now weighs 67 pounds.
He looks bigger than that.
Yes, he does look bigger, but he's still on the smaller side for a peer. But he's a healthy weight right now. Hi, thank you. But yeah, he's definitely being younger, getting into his teen years. Definitely still has a lot of puppy energy. He does
got a good coat on him. That's the cool part about puppies. Their coat is just so awesome.
Yes, yeah, his fur. I mean, it's just that like pure white. Unless he's been rolling around and playing, then it'll turn a little tinted.
Of course.
Tan.
Yeah.
He's excellent.
But yeah, he's
great to walk.
Yeah, he's a good walker for sure. He loves to go for walks, and then like I said, he loves to play. So his either foster home or adoptive home should have another dog, so he can get out some of that energy for sure.
Yeah.
Yep,
they learn things from other dogs that we just can't teach them the same way. Okay.
Yes.
And sometimes it's mischievousness, but still it's learning. Okay. Look at him, boy. He's gorgeous.
He's very pretty.
He's a classic example of the breed, except for his size, maybe. But he's only a year old. He might be grown still.
Yeah. He might get a little bigger.
He's grown a lot since he got here.
But pretty close. Yeah. And he likes both male and female dogs. He gets along with both. So I think either one, if you have either in your home, I think it's worth sending in an application to see if we think Blitzen might be a good match for you and your family. But yeah, definitely, like I said, he can still get excited. So those slow introductions to new dogs, new people, that kind of thing is going to be key to help him be successful in his new environment.
Yeah, and we're going to ask Roman to go into the true definition of slow introductions. Okay, people don't realize sometimes what that actually entails. Melise says that he's an official pocket peer. How about that? I love it. In case you don't know what a pocket peer is, those are the ones that look like you just put them in your back pocket and go for a walk.
It also looked like he was okay with cats too, Molly. He was there was some treats on the ground and there wasn't any food aggression or anything like that. So
he was eating it fast, but that's
yes. Yeah, he's okay with the cats.
Perfect.
Well, he's awesome. He's young, so you got to remember he's young. He doesn't know anything yet. Okay.
Right.
So he has to learn, and
yes, and he's gone through a lot of changes over the past few months. So, but he's calmed down quite a bit since we've had him here. I met him in December, and he was just full of energy, and he seems to have calmed down a little bit. So that's a good sign.
Melise says he's pretty submissive. So that can be a good thing. Absolutely.
Yeah,
He's gorgeous. Wow.
Yeah. And as you can see, I mean, anytime he opens his mouth, he's got the best smile for sure.
He's
Wow.
got the little Groucho Marx mustache too.
Yeah.
He sure does, doesn't he?
Yes,
Wow.
he's a stunning dog for sure.
And this is Blitzen.
This is
Does he have the
Blitzen.
double dues, Molly?
I think he does.
Yes, he does.
Oh wow,
He
cool.
does have the double dues.
Wow. So Blitzen, because of the timing when he came into rescue,
Yes.
and is he house trained? Good
I
question,
believe
Patty.
so. Yes. Yep.
There you go.
The dogs here at headquarters spend at least a few days inside every now and again just to make sure. And
When will he be neutered?
Oh, when will he be? I believe, is he already?
He may already be.
Yeah.
Is he already? Okay.
Yeah, he probably is because he's available. Usually we don't list him as available until they either are planned or have been neutered.
Okay.
And the
Perfect.
sheep's on it too.
Yes.
Now, can you read those questions, Molly?
Yes.
You guys have
Yeah. So would he be good with a dog his same age or have an older mentor dog? And I think an older mentor dog would probably be best. Just because of like all of his energy and stuff like that. And being a little bit more submissive, I think it would help him with his confidence for sure.
Okay. Because a submissive peer is, you're right. I mean, I like the way you put that, help him with his confidence.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Usually, how you build confidence is through knowledge. All right. A dog that has a lot of knowledge is a confident dog, also. So,
Exactly.
yeah. So, wow, this is awesome. I love it. Blitzen,
Yes.
Great Pyrenees Rescue Society.org. That's where Blitzen is.
Yeah.
So we're going to move on to the next pocket pier. Okay.
Yeah.
And the only female of the day, right?
Correct. Yes.
And Blitzen, you have a good day. Maybe we can get down and visit you. Roman, you want to take a trip to Spring?
Sure. Where's that?
All right. Okay. Our next one's, like I said, the only female of the bunch. And well, maybe she'll captivate you like she did me when I was putting the video together. I've been waiting to meet her.
Yes.
She's lovely.
Wow.
This is, yeah, okay. She loves
Looks like a
treats.
sweetie.
Now she looks bigger than a pocket pier here, anyway.
She's
Yeah.
small.
No, she's definitely on the smaller side. She,
Okay.
she's around 70 pounds and just a little bit on the skinny side. I think she could stand to gain a few pounds. But yeah, I don't think she'll be more than 80 at all. 75 is probably around a healthy weight for her. But yeah, she was born around May of 2021, so she will be almost 4 years old. And she is our most recent kind of current rock star resident at headquarters. She actually, the beginning of her story with us is kind of more on the sad side. So she was found tied up to a tree and abandoned in North Dallas. So as you can imagine, being in those circumstances, when she first got here, she was pretty timid. She took a long time to gain the trust of people, definitely new people, volunteers, stuff like that. But as you can see, she has absolutely no problem now. Our volunteers have done a lot of work with her to get her used to to new people, new situations. She gets very excited to meet new people. She still shows a sign or two every now and again of being a little bit more cautious, but rightfully so, given her history.
That's so sad. That's
Yes,
so sad.
yes.
How I don't understand people nowadays. How could they can just give up so easily?
I
You know,
agree.
just-
Yes. Yeah, and she definitely proves like she's not a broken dog. It was broken people.
Yeah, well, dogs don't break, so.
Exactly.
Good for all you guys to do this, what you guys do down there every day and bring these dogs around. You guys are all
Yes.
amazing.
Yeah, she one of our volunteers who comes on a weekly basis. She's like, I shouldn't have favorites, but she's definitely my favorite right now.
And she really intrigued me with what I was reading in her bio, and she's just something else. I mean, she doesn't hold it against the humans. It doesn't.
Exactly. Exactly.
How is
Yes.
she with the other dogs, Molly?
So she's getting used to them. Right now we think that she would do best in a home as an only dog, but with like slow intros and a lot of patience, lots of pack walks and stuff like that, she could definitely get there. We think that
Maybe
she's
we can
best.
have Roman cover that as part of the slow introduction
Yes.
definition, if you may.
Yeah. We think she's got great potential. And yeah, 6-foot fence is kind of our standard through our rescue for a height for a yard. So yeah,
Without a ladder leaning up against it.
yes, yeah, exactly.
So I dog sit for 2 Pyrs, and the female that I dog sit for has cleared my 6-foot fence. So every time I watch that one video, Steve, where the dog just jumps over with ease, that's the female that I watch. She just like it's only a foot tall. So
yes, and I have not heard of her trying to get out of any of our fencing. So
that's important, because apparently part of that would be, well, she's better off inside. She's already been on the outside and didn't like it.
Right.
That's how you got her. Was she a stray? Is that how you got her? Oh, no, she was tied up to a tree.
She was tied up to a tree and abandoned. So
yeah, if you get a dog, don't plan on tying them up to a tree and abandon them. If that's why you don't get them, if that's what you're going to do.
Yeah, don't tie them up. Plain and simple. Don't tie them up, no matter where it's to. Don't
Yeah.
tie them up.
Yeah.
She was in a trailer park. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So she kept the entire trailer park safe from coyotes and wolves.
Right.
There you go.
And that's the thanks she got.
She's beautiful.
Yeah. And she does love to go for her walks. She walks really well on a leash. I took her for a short walk just before the show, and she just wanted to explore and sniff everything, and she just loved it. So definitely curious, which means she's gaining her confidence. And it's just going to take a little bit more time to build that, but she's at a excellent point for anybody who would be interested in fostering or adopting her.
Awesome. Wow.
It almost looks like she could have a part of a golden retriever or something in her coat.
Yeah.
Oh, does she come with reassembly instructions after she wakes up?
I think she does.
Definitely looks broken there for sure.
Yes. Yeah. Right.
All right.
But she's got a really funny, like, cute little bark too. Sometimes it's a little different, kind of like a soft, like, woof.
It's very husky.
Yeah, kind of almost like Christine said here, a little bit more husky, but just that noise is the only thing that I think would be husky about her.
I call her Janice Jones.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
But yeah,
wow. What a girl.
She's a great dog. Yeah, she's our rock star.
Yeah, she is. So Great Pyrenees Rescue Society.org. That's Candy, spelled Candie.
Correct. Yes.
All right. And she's public up there, and you can apply to foster, to adopt. And also, too, you can become a volunteer and be part of some of this awesome group that they have. And you can walk the dogs, too. Okay.
Yeah.
I've been there. I can talk firsthand on how awesome this place is. Okay. Then ideally all dogs go through there first if that's where they can come in. Okay. So, wow.
Yeah.
So next up, we have a favorite of Lori's.
I might have to bow out for just a little bit, just because. Either that or I'm getting on a plane or a bus to come down to headquarters.
And here's why. I forgot about that. The video says that he would do best as an only dog.
Yeah.
Lori has dogs. Does that still hold true? Have you learned more about that?
Yes. Yeah. So here's our resident handsome boy at headquarters. This is Grok. So he was born.
Beautiful, Deb.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. And his fur is super, super soft. And it's got like that part down the middle because it's nice and long. So yeah, he's a stunner for sure.
He is beautiful.
Now, what about the other dogs in the video? Is he getting better with them, or is he still?
Yeah, he is. He actually came in to rescue with another dog.
Okay, but all I can say is what the bio said.
Yeah, for sure. So he's been with us since October of 2023, so a little over a year and a half. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, came in with a peer sibling, and she's since been adopted. But he took a long time to adjust for sure. So kind of similar to Candy. He came in pretty timid and cautious of new people. But as you can see, he's gotten quite a bit better with that. He was an owner surrender. And I took a look at the paperwork. They cited cost as being one of the main reasons why they surrendered him. So
what was it?
Cost.
Cough?
Cost like money.
Well, don't they understand that there's resources out there that can help save them? And
exactly,
we need to get that out there more, guys, so people understand that it's not always the best solution to give up your pet if you can't afford it. There's
For sure.
got to be other things that we can do to help people keep their pets
Yes.
for this reason.
When you surrender a dog that has lived with you for, say, all of his life, for example, you don't realize what it does to the dog when
Yeah.
he loses his
Yeah,
own.
it's devastating. Like we go back to Mr. Tibbs with you, Steve, how heartbroken he was at almost 8 years old to be
He
surrendered.
kept looking for his dad to go come up there. Every day of the week,
Yep.
he was standing looking for his family to come back.
Yep. It breaks your heart. People say, oh, it breaks my heart to have to do this. Well, you understand why it's being done. The dog doesn't understand why they're being given away. They don't understand it. It's so sad.
Yeah, for sure. And he definitely has come a long way, given the circumstances that.
Absolutely. He's gorgeous.
He is gorgeous.
Yeah,
it's a
for
good
sure.
thing I don't live closer.
I know.
Now, didn't I hear somebody say you guys are suspicious that he could be Newfoundland mixed in there?
Yes, for sure. So yeah, the dark black markings, and he's got black spots all through his coat.
And look at his profile of his face. That looks like Newfie too. Yeah,
he does. He looks like my Rip with the black and the white.
Yeah. He does look like Rip, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Yes. So,
now Rip's a Landseer. Now Rip is a Landseer in Newfoundland, right?
Correct. Yep. Same bloodline as my Remy, who I just lost a couple of weeks ago. So that's but he's beautiful. So Melise, you said he needs to eat alone and would be better on his own. With
my
Roman,
dogs all have to eat alone too.
Well, yeah. So with Roman, the slow introductions and stuff, suggestions on why he would have to be, alone by an only dog, I guess I should say.
I think he's muted.
You're muted, Roman.
I just fixed it.
Yeah, I see that.
It's easy to get trapped into the question. Let me wind back a little bit.
I do. What do you think?
Let's imagine for a moment we're abducted by aliens. And I'm sorry if any one of you had that experience, is not targeting there. But I would like to come to the concept that you are being abducted by a person or an individual that you don't know, never seen before, don't understand what they're doing. And then suddenly you have to meet another of your people.
Forced into a relationship.
Right? How would we go with that? We have to think of that a dog may be having negative experiences with another dog in the past. But us being there, not being supportive, and us being unrelated to the dog will be a problem. Which means if the dog doesn't have a connection with us, we will not be able to guide the dog to meet the other dog.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And let me pull up here a screen.
See, Lori has separation capabilities.
Right? So first, before we do anything else, we need to build secure attachment with the dog. Before that, it's unsafe and unwise to throw the dog to the dogs. So if we don't meet the dog's needs first, the dog will not trust us.
That's right.
Once he builds trust, then he can focus on a relationship and trust us through because of the relationship. Then he understands why we prioritize safety. Once we have a strong bond and we can advocate for the dog, then we can think about introducing the dog to somebody else.
Okay. That makes
Because
sense.
why would the dog listening to us if he hasn't established a relationship? How can a dog?
They've actually met that there at headquarters. Most everything that you just listed, they're meeting his needs. They're giving him knowledge. They're doing little introductions because Melise had just commented like that. So it's already, that ball is already rolling.
Yes, but it really depends on the dog.
That's right.
How he takes that information, because we have a somatic response, and we have the brain response. The
Right.
somatic response, the first thing it's going to do, he sees something that looks like a dog, it must be a dog, and the body goes right in defense.
Yep.
If the dog has a past negative experience.
Yep.
For the dog to not go into that survival response, it needs to really checking in with the person. So while we're trying to introduce a dog to different kind of situations, if the dog doesn't know what to do in crisis, he will go in a survival response instantly.
Okay.
So what I would go, sorry, well, my main goal is when I introduce the dog is to teach the dog that reaching out to me will solve the problem.
Mhm.
Which means the dog will tell me right in the beginning, before he loses his poop, that I have a problem. Can you help me here?
That's right.
And that
Agree.
establishes the communication. Without that communication, the dog will fail in the introduction. It would be a 50% chance if or not it's going to help. But we cannot take that chance if the dog is already there, which means at the beginning, I have to really take my time, take it slow, as long as it takes for the dog to feel so safe that it turns around and tells you, I don't feel good about it. Oh, yeah, I want to go further. And then you can make the next step. Am I a magician if I can make it in 5 minutes? A little bit. But somebody who doesn't have that skills to instantly communicate and instantly build that trust relationship, because of the way you set up the communication, it's something that happens consistently in milliseconds. His feedback, your feedback, their feedback, your feedback, it goes together like a donut machine. It just beers it up, right? At that moment, you miss one message. That relationship is being in question, which
Yep,
means
right.
the whole introduction will fail. If I don't see that the other dog needs to have the same attachment relationship with me than my dog I introduced to, they all both have to refer to me. So if somebody struggles with it, I need to advocate for either or dog.
Yep. But
And I
one of
know
the
it's
things they do
counterintuitive.
teach down there is you got me to turn to.
Right. So
Mhm.
while we want to get it over and get the dog through in the relationship that we want the dog to succeed, we're missing those essential part of if the dog doesn't feel ready yet, we have to wait.
That's there's your go slow definition right there. The dog is the timer, not us.
So going slow is not me behaving slow. It's
Right.
taking the time for the dog to catch up, process it. And since
Mhm.
guardian dogs have a predisposition to not get overstressed very quickly,
Yep. And
we need to build
Lori's
resilience.
used to that with Mr. Tibbs. It took him a minute.
Yep. And the
And
same
we-
thing with Cosmo. When I got Cosmo, he was in a yard by himself for
Mhm.
14 or 15 months, and it took him some time
Took
to get
him-
used to the
that's
other
right.
dog.
So for me to speed up the process, I'll take a fake dog,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I set the dog up in my yard or in a natural place and set the dog up so the dog shows his butt. And then I introduce my dog that I want to teach how to introduce them, how his body response should react to that problem. And it can take 3 or 4 trials for the dog to recognizing that what I'm doing right now is kind of fake, or isn't it? And have the dog start coming up with questions, because once we have a question coming up is where the two-way communication happens.
That's right.
What most
No.
people fail to is try to manage the dog by controlling and micromanaging the dog to introduce that dog to the other dog, leaving the
Right.
dog no room to overcome his emotions.
Yep.
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 So, and that's where Lori's separation capabilities really helps out, because they're separated, not isolated. So they're learning each other somewhat through what baby gates or whatever you use.
Yep.
And they actually are not bad at working this out sometimes. Okay. One of the biggest mistakes that we can make when we have a dog and a cat is we pick a cat up and walk to the dog. Well,
Right.
here's that cat scratching the heck out of you, and you're bringing it to the dog.
Yep. Yep.
They're very good at working this out with each other. If
Right.
we manage it, give them an escape route, the cat, and let him be the jerk, be the asshole, whatever, go smack the dog. But that's their way of working this out sometimes.
The one thing that comes-
He's gorgeous, and I find hard to believe that you've had them that long. All the dogs that you've had as long as you've had them, that nobody has snatched up
Yes.
all these dogs. But I get it if he's got some issues that nobody knows about. Nobody knows what.
When's the last time you had a dog, Lori, that didn't have issues?
I know, that's what I was just going to say, that, Steve. Yep. It's obviously, I mean, if you get them as puppies, they're a whole lot easier. But when you get these adult dogs that have been in a routine most of their teen years into their, 4, 5, 6 years old, they have a routine, and then all of a sudden that routine is destroyed. It takes the dog right back to square one again, and
they're destabilized. It destabilizes them, and they rely heavily on stability.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
for sure.
And like you said earlier, Steve, people don't understand how their worlds are rocked when something like that happens. They just don't. That dogs. I
I'm
can go on
working.
forever, but
I'm working on something right now and I brought it up to you, Roman. I don't know how to get it going other than talk to the rescues. I want to do a video type situation, confirmation, if you may, so people can get a visual on what it does to the dog when they lose their lifelong home.
Mm-hmm.
that would be fantastic, Steve.
Right.
I mean, we'd have to do it in a way that we don't freak everybody out, but that's why. But that's my idea. I just don't know how to execute it yet.
I almost wonder if it would help more people understand what they're doing to, like we had talked before the show, Steve, this world nowadays is a disposable world. If something doesn't work out after a 24-hour period or a week period, let's just toss in the towel and say, forget it. But I said this to you earlier, Steve, if I hadn't reached out to you when I first took Tibbs in, I wouldn't have realized what a wonderful, gentle soul that dog was, and had 5.5 wonderful years with him.
Mm-hmm.
If I'd have just given up in the beginning, like so many people do, you just don't understand how wonderful a dog can truly be if you just give him the chance. You just give him a chance.
Yeah. Now, he was a senior when you got him, or close to a senior, right?
Yeah, he was almost 8, and he was 12 and
And
a
he
half.
got now his mom or dad, somebody died, right? And
no
one else, and no one else in the. What's that?
The family got divorced, and the wife was handicapped, and she couldn't take care of it, and the husband got remarried. Yada yada.
It was
yada.
a mess. So his problem started before he ever got surrendered.
Correct. Yep.
Always remember that. It started before he got surrendered.
Yep. So
I need to address something, if we can, a little bit. So Melissa said one of the first commands I teach the dog is to watch me.
Mm-hmm.
Let's reframe that a little bit.
Okay. I'm going to make Roman bigger if you want to move him back down, okay?
Okay.
That's Molly I was talking to. Okay.
So we need to reframe our mind for giving the dogs commands, because it forces the dog to do things that we tell them. And so in that case, we're micromanaging the dogs while we do not understand his feelings. So the command, watch me, tells the dog to watch me no matter what's happening in the background. But in reality, we have a somatic response that tells the dog to not let go of what he's struggling with, because it's dangerous to look away from it. So the dog is being bred for thousands of years to look at the problem and not looking away from it. And our command to watch me is a conflict of interest.
Sure can be, because we got stuff we have to do, a little bit ahead of that.
Right.
Now, I will say that Melissa is aware of that, but to save on typing, that's what she wrote. But I do know that she does. She's teaching them to turn to that. They got a choice to turn to her.
Right. But we have to be careful not make that a command. We
Right,
need the dog voluntarily to tell us, I need your help.
And I can see where that can get misunderstood. I absolutely.
Exactly. I just want to make clear about that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm out.
Okay. Now, and here's how I explain it to people. a command is an order expected to be obeyed. We don't. This is the wrong breed for that. Okay. We use what we call cues. Now, keep in mind, these are just words. All right. But there's set definitions to words that we live by. So a cue is a promise or a request with a promise attached to it. If you do what I ask, I promise I'll make it worth your while. And that's how I explain it as the difference. That's all.
One
Other
other
than
thing,
that, people use the word command all the time. I don't care. They can. That's just in the vocabulary. They may not be necessarily acting on a command because a lot of people realize that I can't make that dog do something. Like I can't make him jump off the cliff. He knows it's not safe.
here's with something can get in conflict with the dog if the dog goes to a behavior that we considered aggressive. He will not be able to disconnect from that.
Right.
And then we have to get physical about that because otherwise the dog will not walk away from there.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to my attachment connection is if I don't build a relationship, the dog will not be able to disconnect from his problems because I am not a safe haven. He can come back to safety.
Yeah.
Right? It's like my neighbor calls me and says to stop calling my parents. Who is my neighbor to tell me that?
Right.
But if my neighbor is my father, that changes the story.
Yes, it does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Make sense?
You know, you wrote an amazing article a few years ago that, well, not necessarily an article. You wrote the definitions of 4 of the different attachments that we see when we're working with folks with their dogs. And that's what he's talking about on that, because you can have a secure attachment. Well, you said that a couple of times, but you can also have an insecure attachment. Okay. And other types of attachments.
Avoidant attachment, for example.
Avoidance
The dog
attachment.
doesn't want to
Right.
deal with you. Just
That's
get
right.
me out of here.
And but he's defined that to where you can realize it, and then we can make changes, make a new goal here for your relationship with your dog. All right, it's amazing. I really like that how you described that in your thing. So Roman's pretty good at this. He's picked up a thing or two along the way about LGDs too.
Well, that's why I did that course for
Yeah.
people to have access to that information on one shot
Yeah.
and not having to have problems to deal with it, but being proactive rather than reactive.
Yeah. Why is it you said Brock was surrendered?
I think he was a stray. Or
Oh,
no,
that was-
that was a cost. Sorry.
Cost. The family couldn't afford him anymore.
Gotcha.
Yes,
And for that, that's not a behavior thing.
No.
correct.
So I know like that Newfoundland place, they have helped countless people keep their dogs. So is there a way that we can get that out there that if people need help with their
Oh,
animals?
so that Newfoundland place is still doing that? They're still doing that?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Okay. They have a fund they've created
Yep.
for cost.
Yep. So they helped out. I know we've talked about it in the past year ago before Kathy passed away. She helped a family put up a fence because the mother and the 3 kids or 4 kids were all deaf. So every time they would put the dog out in the backyard, the dog would bark to come back in. Well, the family was deaf, didn't know the dogs were out there barking to come back in. They were on a chain. And they didn't know when they had to come back in the house. So Kathy and Eddie went up and they put fencing up so that was all private. They could let the dog in and out, doggy door, solve the problem. They pay for food, grooming, vetting. There's got to be some way to let these people know that there are fundings out there, if there are indeed, to help people keep their dogs rather than put their dogs through what these dogs are going through to be surrendered.
And make no mistake, just because that Newfoundland place does that, they decided to put together a fund for that, doesn't mean that other rescues are no good because they don't do that. That
Right.
Newfoundland place is a small rescue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they elected to do that instead of growing to the size of GPRS for somebody. All right.
Right.
That
Yep.
wouldn't be feasible for GPRS to do something like that at all.
So right
Okay.
now, Debbie just said the exact same thing. We at New to You, they help also. So in so many instances, it's more cost effective to buy a bag of dog food
Sure.
or pay for a vet once a year or a grooming once a year than to take a dog in and to find a new home for this dog and put a dog through all this trauma and, you know, all the stuff that a dog or cat, whatever the case may be, would go through by losing their one safety net that they've known their whole life, whether they're, you know, good, bad, or indifferent. And correct me if I'm wrong, Steve and Roman, not saying that an abused animal is good by any means, but any animal kept in a home where they have known their whole life is so much better than taking them out of that situation and putting them into a whole nother
There are
trauma.
certain circumstances that we may want to remove that dog.
Correct. Yes. Yep. Correct.
Melise
But-
makes a valid point down there because I got to witness this. I think Roman has too. Texas has a different mindset on animal care.
Mhm.
All right. And
Yeah.
we're not singling out Texas because it may spill over a little bit in other states here and there. But Texas animal care is not the same definition as what it is in some other areas. Utah has got a similar situation, not as bad because they're not as big, obviously. This is a vast land. And there's a lot of dogs, a lot of people, and a lot of lack of knowledge down there is what that amounts
is.
to.
Yep.
And
There is.
and they can hit a dog and think it's perfectly okay. Now that's only an example. I'm not saying they're doing that,
Right.
but what they think is okay, we would gasp over, okay,
Mhm.
in another area.
Well,
So
what
she's
about
absolutely right.
what about the little female you guys took in a couple of years ago that was suffering? Wasn't she shot?
I think that was Judy Dole.
And,
Oh no, that was who was that? Julia. That was Julia.
2 years ago that she was.
Yeah, she had that. Yeah, we did a tribute for her.
Yep. And
Yep.
yeah, so just there needs to be more awareness everywhere
Yeah.
that, you know, there are situations where
Yep.
it can be helped.
Yeah,
you know,
she was.
but-
She was. I don't. She was severe neglect, if I remember right. Harvey and Laura took her to foster, and always never lost hope that she could survive it. But unfortunately, she couldn't survive what had happened to her.
Yeah.
And there's a big, long word of something that was wrong with her that I don't remember what it was.
Melise just said they found out she had cancer.
That's right. Okay.
Okay. And
So-
also Debbie just said we are overrun with dogs in need, and we always see if we can help them keep their dogs.
Yeah, and most rescues will send you a bag of food if that's what you need, but they can't take over. Okay, they can't take over for you while you keep that dog. They rely heavily on adoption fees, even though if they could put $10,000 into hip replacement surgeries on a dog, and the adoption fee stays the same.
Right. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So that means donations is also relied on too.
Which means we have to share more the rescues and direct people to donate there rather than saying the rescue has to take the dog because they are the rescue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't have to take your dog.
No.
Okay.
Nope.
This is done through compassion. And sometimes getting a dog away from somebody that shouldn't even have a stuffed animal sometimes.
That's agreed. Yeah.
But rescues are not easy. Rescue's the hardest thing I'd ever done in my life, and I left it. I can't do it personally. All right. That's hard. And I'll tell you, I have so much respect for these folks in rescue. And so the next time you give them a hard time because you didn't like something they did, remember that. Because you're not affecting them. It's going to roll off of them. You're just making a fool out of yourself.
Yeah.
Okay? And to anybody else that's reading it. So a lot of respect for rescue. I can't do it. That's why. I'm a wimp.
Yeah. Elise said they get 20 plus requests a day, which is sad. So many people, like I said, this world is a disposable world nowadays. Just let's give up, instead of doing our research.
And most
Yes.
of them reasons surrendering the dog are very simple and easily to address.
Mhm.
But people don't know where to go. They go online. My dog growled at my kid. Oh my God, you irresponsible person, right? Why would your kid? And there becomes a drama when people get afraid to actually saying anything.
Yep.
You know, Great Pyrenees are masters at communicating. You know, some of us believe that the second best form that they have to communicate with us is to growl. Doesn't that change the growl into not a bad thing, but a good thing? Because he's telling you, I don't want to have to go any further than this.
Yep.
I'm not comfortable.
Yep.
Yes, because people make the association that growling equals warning of a bite.
Yep, that's
They don't
right.
see that growling is a communication skill.
Yeah. And he's probably telling you, I don't want to bite. I don't want to bite. Because they don't.
Yep.
They don't want to have to
Growling
bite
is not
you.
the first thing they said.
No. Well, the growl is a verbal communication because we missed the silent attempts ahead of it.
Exactly. Yep. You're right.
So watch your dog. Pay attention to your dog. They have a lot to say.
Well,
Yes,
you
they
taught
do.
me that, Steve. Watch the eyes and the body language on
Yeah.
them first, and you can learn a lot.
We believe the Great Pyrenees doesn't make a move without processing it first. So you have a delay now. Okay? If you ask a Great Pyrenees to do something, you always got to remember they got to understand what it is you want them to do. It's got to make sense to them to do it. It's got to be worth their while. And you got to give them enough time to process 1, 2, and 3. It's not that bad. Give them a few seconds. And if they haven't sat, don't go making them sit. Give them the ability to choose. Hold a treat up. They don't know the definition of bribe. Don't let anybody tell you you're bribing them because that's a human term, not a dog term. All right. Besides, what's wrong with that? Anyway, and you say sit one more time if it's a sit. And if they don't sit, that's okay too. Let them say no. Turn around, walk away. Don't give them that treat. But turn around and walk away. You just gave them the ability to make a choice because your goal is to teach them how to make better choices. But you can't do that if you don't give them the ability to make a choice to start with. So let them say no. They'll come around. This is a smart breed. Dogs are smart. We got to adjust to that. They're amazing. So, but we don't expect everybody to know what we know.
Yep, Brock's a good example.
He's being so perfect, just
He's
laying
so-
there,
Well, look
taking
at
it
him.
all in and just
Yeah.
That's their only dog.
yeah.
Yeah. He's chilled out pretty
Wow.
good since being in here. So
Yeah, if you're interested, Lori, just a little tip for the viewers, as you probably already picked up, Lori might be interested in Brock. So if you are, get your application in now.
absolutely.
Okay, stop yelling at me, Steve. Okay.
I'm not talking to you. I was talking to the other viewers. Because you hope he gets a good home.
I
Whether it
do.
be
I really
yours
do.
or somebody else's, because it's not going to be the end of the world for you if somebody adopts him.
Not if he goes to the perfect home that will keep him and work with him. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Steve, you'll be proud of me. I've got 4 Pyrs in my house right now and only 1 Newfoundland. So
I know. And we actually miss you bringing all those Newfies on because that was adding color to the show. All of our dogs are white.
yeah, I know. Well, we'll have if I can speak of a couple weeks, we possibly will be having Cosmo, the brown Newf.
The 30th. Yeah, he was on and he got adopted. Now we're going to bring him back on with a happy adoption story or a bad adoption, whatever it turns out to be. All right.
Okay, so Debbie said we just took in some Leonberger puppies, so maybe I'll bring a Leonberger on the 30th, so you can get a story behind them as well.
Why does Leonbergers need a rescue?
I don't know, Deb, why are they in rescue? I know that they came into.
Okay, here's the bigger question: why do Newfoundlands need rescue? Isn't their job to help people, save people?
Exactly.
Why do they need to be saved from people then?
Yeah, why is there rescues for any of these poor dogs?
Yeah.
So it just
Great Pyrenees, yeah, that they're a different breed. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. They can outthink us 7-1. All right. But they don't have our logic. Always remember that. As smart as we believe these Great Pyrenees are, they don't have human logic. an example of what's affected by not having human logic would be knowing right from wrong. Wouldn't that require logic since we make it? And then we keep moving the goalposts on what's right and what's wrong anyway, just by being individuals. Because what you think is wrong, I may not think is wrong. Okay. So we keep moving the goalposts. They can't process that. So what do? Give them you to turn to. You can solve their problems. Oh, okay. Well, that didn't say how they came in to rescue. She just said you need a Leonberger now.
It said it's a oops litter and they're not sure who the daddy is.
If you spay and neuter, there won't be an oops.
Exactly. Yep, you're right.
Right? Simple as that. It's nice
Yep.
and easy.
Spay
Now,
and neuter,
is it
folks.
expensive? Well, I don't know. Depends on where the dogs are. Spay and neuter is getting ridiculously priced.
Here,
Yep.
here in Texas, there's actually quite a few low-cost veterinarians who do spay and neuters for $100 or less, and they actually
Wow.
have a couple of shelters that do free spay and neuter events too.
That would be
Wow.
worth driving to Texas to get a spay and neuter
I
done.
was gonna
Well,
say, if you're in
how do we get
Texas,
the word out down there so there's not all these oops litters everywhere?
exactly, yes, yeah. I think we maybe we can work on making a post through GPRS for where there's some low-cost vets in Texas.
How about
Yeah.
billboards up all over that flash on the side of the road?
That too. That too.
Get the word out there. Not everybody is on Facebook, so we got to figure out a way to get the word out there all over that people
Absolutely.
understand. You know, that
But
there
we got to
are-
get some. But we do want to get some Leonbergers on the show, though. Don't you
Okay.
think?
All right, Deb, I'll take a couple of them just for the show, Deb, just for the show.
Ah, okay. And by the way, Deb, you know any of your fosters are welcome to come on to the show too. So it doesn't have to be Lori. Sorry, Lori, I didn't mean to burst that balloon there.
You're fine. Anybody that wants to come on, we'll anybody that's in there, we'll
Yep.
bring them on for sure.
What a rough life he has.
I know.
I know he is perfect. I just might have to go on and fill out that app.
Well, here's what I would suggest. I would Lori, just apply, and then Melise might even talk to you. Then personally, you never know. I don't. It depends how busy she is. She's a busy lady.
Oh, I
okay.
know. Yeah.
They
All the rescues are busy. You know, I get that. So.
They move a lot of dogs. Usually move more dogs than any other breed-specific Great Pyrenees rescue around. Okay, so that's a lot of dogs, and everything goes through Melise. Nothing gets past her. Okay, she knows every movement with these dogs because they're her dogs. So, wow. All right,
I'm going to move the
Brock,
camera.
it
real
was
quick.
great. It was great meeting Brock and Candy and Ranger and Blitzen, and each one of their bio links are in the comments. I saw them go in there. Thank you, Melanie or Lori, whoever did that. But look at him. He caught my attention when I saw him, and I didn't have a lot of photos to do the video, but Molly took care of that.
He's
Yeah.
adorable. I
And,
just tried to
we got
show
a
you
good
Rip
video.
real quick. He's just laying here at my feet.
Oh yeah.
See that mouth?
That's your Landseer, yeah.
Yep.
How old is he now, Lori?
He will be 3 next month.
Okay. All right. You're quite welcome, Deb. So, and if you have anytime, always be aware that anytime you have your dogs on the show, we're capable of streaming to your main Facebook page too. Okay, Lori. I mean, you can set Lori up to. It has to be an admin that adds the destinations to StreamYard. So, just so you know that. But anyway, wow, what a show we had today, don't you think?
Yes.
I had a lot of fun. I don't know about anybody else. I love it every time we do this from GPRS headquarters. It's just amazing. And I've been there. That's why I think that place is amazing. So, and there's no cramped quarters for the dogs or anything like that. Even in their individual runs, if you may, they're really not runs. There's just big areas with a big house. I was negotiating with one of the dog, Eve, down there, on where to put the sofa and where to hang the pictures if she was willing to split the rent with me if I stayed. Okay. So keep in mind that she was nervous having me there, so I was just doing some gibberish just to keep her calm while I was petting her. She turned out to be feral. I'm glad they didn't tell me that beforehand. I probably would have screwed up my introduction. Sometimes it's better left unknown. So anyway, wow, you guys are great. Thank you, every rescue, for doing everything, and we're all in your corner. All right. So Roman, thanks. We'll see you next week. Next week we're going to be at Skippy Skippins. Yes, 7 dogs next week.
Awesome.
Yes. It's always great to have Stephanie on down there. She's just fun to be around, her and her husband. So, and we'll see GPRS dogs. We'll see Skippy Skipping dogs maybe. She's her own rescue, Skippy Skippins. That's the nickname of a Great Pyrenees she has. So that's why she called it that. All right, everybody, we're out of here. And next week, same time, same station. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.